Good afternoon, and welcome to True Vine of Israel Bible class. And I thank the Lord for another Sabbath day. And I'm going to open up with a song. Go ahead.
O Lord, rebuke me not in thine anger, neither chasten me in thy hot displeasure. Have mercy upon me, O Lord, for I am weak. O Lord, heal me, for my bones are vexed. My soul is also sore vexed. But thou, O Lord, how long? Return, O Lord, deliver my soul. O save me for thy mercy's sake.
We've read Psalm 6, verse 1 through 4. May the Lord add a blessing to the hearing and reading and doing of his word. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Well, today we are going to look at dry bones in the valley out of Ezekiel chapter 37. And matter of fact, this class is called The Valley of Dry Bones. And there was a sermon done by this brother C.L. Franklin back in the day about the dry bones. And I listened to the lesson, and the lesson had nothing to do with what he was talking about. And he hit a couple of good points, but yet and still, he didn't bring it home. And still, people do not know who the dry bones are. So today we're gonna put clarity on this, and we're gonna clarify who were the dry bones and at what time that the dry bones will live again. So we're gonna pick this up in Ezekiel 37. Ezekiel 37, because there's a big misunderstanding right now. Because if you don't know who the children of Israel is, then you want to understand this prophecy. And this prophecy is going to happen, but it's going to happen at a later time. That's why in the book of Acts, the disciples was asking the Lord, look, you know, are you at this time is going to restore the kingdom of Israel? That's what it's all about. It's about the restoration of a nation that has been brought up out of the land of Egypt and sat on high up under King Solomon and fell. So now they was up under Roman occupation. So now they're trying to find out, look, when is Israel going to be restored back into the kingdom it was? But we got to find out who Israel is. We're going to pick this up at verse 1. Go ahead.
The hand of the Lord was upon me, and carried me out in the spirit of the Lord, and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones, and caused me to pass by them round about. And behold, there were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry.
And this is Ezekiel, called to be a prophet. Ezekiel was a priest at that time, and he was in captivity. Him and Israel was in the Babylonian captivity, and now the Lord has came and revealed something to him about the children of Israel. This is why the whole valley is dry bones. But we're going to find out first who the dry bones are, and not only that, now this whole valley in other scriptures will signify the Babylonian captivity. But go ahead.
And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord God, thou knowest. And again he said unto me, Prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord.
O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. Go ahead.
Thus saith the Lord God unto these bones, Behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live. And I will lay
Go ahead. I will lay sinews. Go ahead.
Okay, upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am the Lord.
And you shall live, and you shall know that I'm the Lord. And the sinews is nothing more than it's another word for the tendons and the muscles. So, but he had to prophesy. He had to preach to these. He had preached the word of God to these dry bones. Go ahead.
So I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone.
Go ahead.
And when I beheld, lo, the
Sinews.
and the flesh came upon them, and the skin covered them above, but there was no breath in them.
He said everything was happening. He was prophesying and everything, but he say that all of them, bone to bone, came in, but said there was no breath in them. Okay, they shaking and they doing everything, but there still was no breath in them. Go ahead.
Then said he unto me, Prophesy unto the wind, and prophesy, Son of man, and say to the wind, Thus saith the Lord God, Come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live.
Go ahead.
So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came unto them, and they lived, and they stood up upon their feet, an exceeding great army.
Mm-hmm.
Then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel.
These bones are the whole house of Israel. So he's talking about right here, these dry bones. So now we got to find out who is Israel. Who is the Lord talking about? The Lord is talking about a nation, the same nation that he brought out of Egypt. Now, we're going to go back. We're going to come back here later on in this lesson to finish it off. But let's go to Genesis chapter 10. Because we have to go all the way back to Genesis chapter 10, because the Lord destroyed the earth. The Lord destroyed the earth by the flood, and he saved 8 souls. Noah, his sons, and his wives, and his sons' wives, and so it's 8 souls saved. So if you did not come out of these 3 boys, then you don't exist, because everybody was destroyed in the flood except these 8 souls. So through these boys, through these 3 sons of Noah, the whole earth was repopulated. So everybody's walking around here came out of these 3 sons right here. Pick it up at verse 1.
Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
Mm-hmm.
And unto them were sons born after the flood.
Go ahead.
The sons of Japheth, Gomer, and Magog, and Medea,
Mm-hmm.
and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshach,
Mm-hmm.
and Tyrus.
Yep.
And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz,
Mm-hmm.
Riphath,
Mm-hmm.
and Togarmah.
That's right, Togarmah. Go ahead.
And the sons of Javan, Elijah,
Mm-hmm.
and Tarshish,
Mm-hmm.
Kittim, and Dodanim.
And Tarshish is nothing more than Portuguese. Go ahead.
And Dodanim.
Mm-hmm.
By these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, every one after his tongue, after their families in their nations.
So these are the Gentiles. So there was not a Jew in sight. There was not an Israelite in sight when they said these are the isles of the Gentiles. Why? Because the statement of if you're not a Jew, you're a Gentile, that is the biggest lie that ever been told on the face of the planet. Because the Jews, they existed long after the Gentiles right here. The Gentiles are Europeans. If you look up these names, you'll find out that all these names right here are the progenitors of the people that roam the Caucasus Mountain area, the northern part. Even if you were to look at an old map and look up north of Israel, you have Gentiles, the Isles of the Gentiles. These are the Gentiles. These are Europeans. Go ahead.
And the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim,
Mm-hmm.
and Phut, and Canaan.
So these are African nations. Cush is another name for Ethiopia. Mizraim is Egypt. Phut is Libya. Canaan are the people that inhabited Israel before Joshua came and took over Israel. But they had to drive out. They had to drive out. It was called the land of Canaan. They were Africans. Go ahead.
Okay.
He said, and the sons of Cush, Seba, and Havilah, and Septa, and Reamah, and Septica, and the sons of Reamah, Sheba, and Dedan, and Cush, which is Ethiopia. He said, and Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. And we have other lessons to show you that this mighty one on the earth is Cush. He is the one, he is the father of a lot of things, even what goes on today as far as this Babylonian religion that they call Christianity. But go ahead.
He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord.
Go ahead.
And the beginning of his kingdom was Baal, and
Erech,
and Akkad, and
Calneh,
in the land of Shinar.
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 Okay, now these are the African nations, and Nimrod was a Cushite. Nimrod was an Ethiopian. Okay, now, why is it that just point out the sons of Japheth, they were called Gentiles, but the African nations, which is the sons of Ham, what they was called Cush, Mizraim, why weren't they called Gentiles? Because if the statement of if you're not a Jew, you're a Gentile, then really these people should have been called Gentiles. Am I right? So now these are African nations because every man is called after his father. The Canaanites, they are the sons of Canaan. The Cushites or the Ethiopians, they are the sons of Cush. So all these are African nations. Now, what we want to deal with right now, we want to deal with Shem, because out of Shem came the nation of Israel. But we're going to find out it don't actually point to who Israel is. So we got to find out who Israel is not. So we see right here, Israel is not Ham. Israel is not Africa. Matter of fact, there is a Bible dictionary, the Zondervan's Bible Dictionary, and you look up Ham and you find out he is the progenitor of the dark races, but not the Negro. Oh, we dark races too, but we're not Africans. We're somebody else. Um, Skip down to Genesis chapter 11. Genesis chapter 11, and we are going to go to verse 10. I'm sorry. Go down to 21. Read verse 21. Genesis chapter 10. I'm jumping ahead of myself. Genesis chapter 10 and verse 21. Go ahead.
Unto Shem also the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth, the elder, even to him were children born.
So now we're finna run down the lineage of Shem, because that's who we're dealing with. We're dealing with Shemite. There's a Hamitic black people. Then there was a Shemitic black people. Shemitic black people and Hamitic black people look the same. They look the same. Even they are almost identical. However, there are some differences there. Go to Genesis chapter 11 and pick it up at verse 10.
These are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and begat Arphaxad.
Yeah, Arphaxad.
2 years after the flood.
So now we're dealing with Shem, and you read all the way down the lineage of Shem, and it's going to lead you somewhere. Skip down to verse 27 and go ahead.
Now these are the generations of Terah.
Yeah. Now Terah, he is the descendants from Shem. Go ahead.
Terah begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran, and Haran begat Lot. And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity, in Ur of the Chaldees.
Go ahead.
And Abram and Nahor took their wives. The name of Abram's wife was Sarai, and the name of Nahor's wife Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah, and the father of Ishka.
Now we know this is out of the lineage of Shem. Now we're going to deal with Abraham, and well, Abram. His name was changed to Abraham, father of many nations, and Sarai's name was changed to Sarah. So we're going to go ahead and further and deal with this. Let's go to Genesis chapter 45 because if you read the story, you find out that Abraham beget Isaac. Isaac beget Jacob. Jacob had 12 sons, and Jacob's name was changed to Israel when he wrestled an angel. So therefore, the Lord gave Jacob his name, which is Israel. So all Jacob's sons are the patriarchs of the nation of Israel, children of Israel. Well, we're going to look at one son. We're going to look at one son, Joseph. Now we know Joseph. Joseph was the son of Israel, and Joseph was sold to the Egyptians. He was sold to some Ishmaelites, and the Ishmaelites sold him to Potiphar, which is an Egyptian. So therefore, Joseph was sold into Egypt, and we all know the story. Read the story for yourself. But Joseph was brought up in Egypt, and Joseph began to rule, second rule in Egypt because of his dreams he interpreted for Pharaoh to save them out of a famine. So we're going to keep on, we're going to go all the way, skip this story to Genesis 45 for the sake of time. And Genesis 45, and we're going to pick it up to where Joseph's brothers, Joseph had 11 brothers, and they came up to him and they did not recognize Joseph. Joseph had to make himself known to him. Why? Because Joseph looked like an Egyptian or Mizraim. Mizraim is Egypt. So therefore, African, which is the Egyptian, and Israelite, which is black. So you have a black person and a black person. And the only thing is their clothes look the same. But Joseph was an Israelite. Joseph was not an Egyptian. Egyptian came out of lineage of Ham. But read verse start at verse 1.
Then Joseph could not refrain himself before all of them that stood by him, and he cried, Cause every man to go out from me. And there stood no man with him, while Joseph made himself known unto his brethren.
Joseph was very sorrowful because these brethren had told him earlier in the story that we had a brother, but he died, but he got eaten up by wolves and stuff like that, and they still did not know Joseph was that with their brother that they sold down in Egypt because he was looking just like the Egyptian. They seen an Egyptian, they did not see their brother, but Joseph had to make known himself because and it was hurtful to him. But go ahead and read.
And Joseph said unto his brethren,
Hold on for a minute. Go up down verse
Oh,
2.
go up. Okay, I'm sorry. And he wept aloud, and the Egyptians and the house of Pharaoh heard.
Go ahead.
And Joseph said unto his brethren, I am Joseph. Doth my father yet live? And his brethren could not answer him, for they were troubled at his presence.
They was troubled at his presence because they know they did Joseph wrong. They did Joseph wrong, but all this was the plan of God. But Joseph had to make himself known to his brethren because really think about it. Where is Egypt located? Egypt is located in Africa. See, they try to separate Egypt from Africa. Them Arabs back in the 7th century, when they took Egypt over, that's according to history, that's why the Egyptians that you see today are not the Egyptians during Joseph's time. These Egyptians were black people. They were Africans. But Joseph had to make himself known to his brother, and they were scared because they knew at the snap of Joseph's finger he could have all 11 of them killed for what they did. But go ahead, read verse 4.
And Joseph said unto his brethren, Come near to me, I pray you. And they came near, and he said, I am Joseph your brother, whom ye sold in Egypt.
Go ahead.
Now therefore be not grieved, nor angry with yourselves that ye sold me hither, for God did send me before you to preserve life.
So the Lord sent Joseph down into Egypt by the hands of his brothers, selling him down into Egypt, and to preserve life. And then the rest of the story, once they found out who Joseph was, and everything. And then they said Joseph was like, go and send for my father Israel. Tell him to come on down here, and I can put them in the land of Goshen, and they could stay here in the land of Egypt. So you had blacks dwelling with blacks, but they were different nationalities. Just like even today, if you have one black person and another black person, we look exactly the same. Them Africans, well, I take that back. A lot of them Africans, they do not look like us. The sons of Ham do not look like us. You have, we come in all shades, we come in all colors, and we are two nationalities. I mean, just two different nations. I mean, you cannot say a Negro and an African is the same thing. It's impossible. Um, we're gonna go further. Go to Deuteronomy 7 because the story goes that all the rest of the brothers and Israel, the father, came down and they living in Egypt now. So, but the Lord had to, while he was down in Egypt, the Lord multiplied and multiplied and multiplied because he had a plan for Israel. He had a plan for Israel according to because Abraham kept his promise, Isaac kept his promise, Jacob or Israel kept his promise. So therefore, the Lord had to choose Israel due to the fathers keeping their promises, the patriarchs. But we gonna go to Deuteronomy chapter 7 because this is why the Lord chose the nation of Israel to be priest. Start at verse 6.
And 7.
Yeah, Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor chose you,
Mm-hmm.
because ye were more in number than any people, but ye were the fewest of all people.
Okay, the Lord chose them. Y'all was the fewest of all people. I didn't choose y'all because y'all was greater than anybody, anything like that. But read verse 8.
But because the Lord loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, hath the Lord brought you out of with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, and from the hand of Pharaoh the king of Egypt.
So that's why he got Israel out of there, because he gonna choose them as a nation of priests to carry out the word of God and teach the rest of the sons and daughters of Abraham. I'm sorry, the rest of the sons and daughters of Adam, the word of God. That's why he chose them. He chose them because he wanted to keep his promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's why he chose Israel. But we got to find out. We got to find out who Israel is. And I think I already gave it up early in this lesson. It's the Negro. But we got to read it. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 28. Deuteronomy chapter 28. Deuteronomy chapter 28. And we're going to pick it up at verse 1. Deuteronomy 28. And pick this up at verse 1. Because the Lord told this nation, the same nation that he delivered out of bondage in Egypt, he told them something. He giving them an ultimatum right here. Because they were hard-headed. As soon as they came out of Egypt, they started bowing down to other gods. They started making a golden calf and this and that. So now the Lord gave them an ultimatum. Go ahead, pick it up at verse 1.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I commanded thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
So he said, if y'all keep my commandments and everything, then you're gonna ride high above all nations of the earth. You're gonna be running the whole thing. You're gonna be running the earth, just like in the days of Solomon. In the days of Solomon, everybody, all nations came up to hear the wisdom of God to Jerusalem. That's what he's talking about. If you keep the laws and statutes of God as a nation. Go ahead.
And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So if states a condition. If this is not automatically given to you. If you What? He say, if you keep the commandments, if you obey my voice, just like he's saying to this day. Go ahead.
Blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field.
Wherever you find yourself, if you want to live in the city, guess what? You're gonna be blessed. If you want to live in the country, you're gonna be blessed. I mean, if you want to live if you want to live in the city of Mobile, then you're gonna be blessed. If you want to live out there on the outskirts in the country, then you're gonna be blessed. Anywhere you're gonna be blessed. Go ahead.
Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of the kin, and the flocks of thy sheep.
So anything you put yourself, your flocks are gonna be blessed. And the fruit of your body is your kids. They are gonna be blessed. Go ahead.
Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store.
Mhm.
Blessed shall be thou blessed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
And again, these curses, you read a lot of these curses, they happen to us, to one nation of people, but they happen in different certain curses went on in different generations, but they are still upon us. So you're gonna your basket in your store, your businesses, all that stuff right there is gonna be prospering if you keep the commandment. Go ahead.
The Lord shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face.
Hmm.
They shall come out against thee one way, and flee before thee 7 ways.
Anybody who's gonna come against you, they're gonna flee 7 ways. They're not gonna be able to touch you because you're gonna have the greatest army. You're gonna have the greatest everything. Can't nobody touch you. You're gonna be the superpower. Go ahead.
The Lord the shall command the blessing upon thee in thy storehouses, and in all thou settest, and in all that thou settest
Hmm.
thine hand unto, and he shall bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee.
So you're gonna be blessed. Your storehouse is gonna be blessed. Now everybody want to deal with the blessings and everything, but don't nobody want to deal with the curses. We're gonna find out that the Lord actually did put these curses on this nation, and those curses are gonna be on this nation forever. Just to let you know who you are. Go ahead.
The Lord shall establish thee an holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God, and walk in his ways.
So if you keep the commandments of God and everything and walk in his ways, then this is all these blessings gonna come upon you. However, skip down to verse 15 and go ahead and read 15.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee
He said,
and
but
overtake thee.
if thou wilt not, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord, then all these curses gonna come upon you. I mean, it's plain and simple. Go ahead.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
If you're in the city of Mobile, you're gonna be cursed. If you're gonna be on the outskirts in the country, and you're gonna be cursed. Go ahead.
Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store.
Go
Cursed
ahead.
shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land,
Hmm.
and the increase of thy kin,
Hmm.
and the flocks of thy sheep.
So the fruit of that body, which is again your kids, your children's, they are gonna be cursed. The fruit of that land, you're gonna go and try to grow something, it ain't gonna grow. Go ahead.
Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
Go ahead.
The Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke in all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do.
So I mean, because basically vexation is confusion. The Lord is gonna have you in confusion. Why in the world this thing is not going on for me? And again, you have individuals, Israelites, that have advanced and that are rich, well, what they call rich, got a lot of money and everything. But us as a nation, that's what we're talking about. A nation, not just only individuals. This is as a nation. Finish off that verse.
Until thou be destroyed,
Hmm.
and until thou perish quickly because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me.
Go ahead.
The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee until he have consumed thee from off the land, whether thou goest to possess it.
So he is going to pestilence. Pestilence is diseases. Diseases is going to cleave onto you. Why is it that every disease that come out is going to hit the black community 10 times harder than it will be in the other nationality? Anything that comes on just new, that is going to cleave to the black community. There's a reason for this. Go ahead.
The Lord shall smite thee with a consumption, and with a fever, and with an inflammation, and with an extreme burning, and with the sword, and with blasting, and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish.
Everything is going to be happening to you as a people. Everything is going to be happening to you. In anybody in any nation can come about and beat you down, and you can't do nothing about it. You got the Arabs. They come and they're gonna put spice in the neighborhood, to beat you down, to have you kill yourself. Um, Crack cocaine in the early 80s. Put that down there. A nation can come into your neighborhood and prosper and send their kids to college and stuff like that. So you're gonna get continually beat down until you perish. Why? Because you did not adhere to the word of God. You did not adhere to the laws and statutes of God. Go ahead.
And thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron.
So this is just hard times. Hard times. I mean, you can look right, you can look left, you can look up, you can look down. It's still going to be hard. Go ahead.
The Lord shall make the rain of the land powder and dust. From heaven shall it come down upon thee until thou be destroyed.
So everything, he said, he's going to make your life a living hell, basically. You're gonna be cultivating everybody else. They corn growing real high, they okra's growing real good. But look at your field and it's dry. Why? No, it's not because you purchased the wrong field. No, it's because you are not keeping the laws and statutes of God. This is what we're reading right here. And go ahead.
The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed unto all the kingdoms of the earth.
Do you know what removed means? If I take this pen and put it right here, I just removed this pen out of its original place, and I just placed it here. You shall be removed. You're not going to be migrating. You're not going to go nowhere to better your life. Now, somebody's going to remove you, and they're going to put you anywhere they want to, or anywhere that it can make them money. So he said you're going to be removed in all kingdoms. And not only that, he said that you're going to go against your enemies. Your enemies can come against you, and then guess what? Just like the blessings, they're going to flee 7 ways. But guess what? If you don't keep the laws and statutes of God, your enemies are going to come and they're going to scatter you 7 ways. And you're going to get removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. Go ahead.
And thy carcass shall be meat unto all fowls of the air, and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away.
All these, he's talking about these 2-legged beasts here. Any nation that comes against you, Israel, they're gonna succeed. You're gonna be your carcass is gonna be meat for the fowls of the air. And what do meat do? It makes them full. Everybody could come and gain money and everything off of you, and you're not getting anything. You can jump the highest, you can run the fastest, but you as a nation, you're still downtrodden. Go ahead.
The Lord shall smite thee with
with the botch
of Egypt, and with the emerald, and with the scab, and with the itch there. Thou canst be healed.
Right. So hemorrhoids ain't number tumors. The Lord is going to keep on putting cancer on you as a people. He is still going to be putting all these diseases on you. He must say the diseases that's not even written in the law of Moses is going to cleave onto you. Blood pressure, that's not written in the word. AIDS, that's not written in the word. High cholesterol, that is not written in the word. So all this stuff hit the black community 10 times harder than they do any other community. Go ahead, verse
The Lord,
28.
the Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart.
So you're gonna be mad at your condition. You're gonna be blind because you do not know why are we getting shot down by the cow? Why are we the only people? There's no why? And you're gonna be mad, and then you're gonna be astonished as far as like why in the world every other nationality can get together and help each other, but our own people cannot get together and help each other. We gotta backstab, we gotta bite at each other, we gotta do all this other stuff, and we will not become a people. Everybody else around us is prospering, and when they get together, that's what. Go ahead, verse 29.
And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in the darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee.
Ain't nobody gonna come down and say save the Negro. Ain't nobody gonna come down and say everybody who came down to help you got assassinated. Everybody you trying to do the Black Panther Party went up, they got wiped out. The new Black Panther Party ain't nobody else. They're not even much even like the old Black Panther Party. They're not even much a threat. So all these groups and everybody is going to try to come up and try to save the black man out of his plight. The Africans, you don't see the Africans going through this stuff. You don't see no other nationality going through these things but us. Go ahead.
Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and thou shalt gather the grapes thereof. Shall not gather the grapes thereof.
How many slave houses you done built? How many you done built the White House? And you didn't, and even they put a person of color in there, but he is still not an Israelite because he is a Hamite. So that still he does not even much fall up under this stuff right here. So, but you got to be bright skinned to go up in that house, and if you dark, you got to go through the back door. You can't even much get up in there. So you built the house. Now you cannot you can't dwell up in there unless you was a mulatto. Go ahead.
Thine ox shall be slain before thine eyes, and thou shalt not eat thereof. Thine ass shall be violently taken away from before thy face, and shall not be restored to thee. Thy sheep shall be given unto thine enemies, and thou shalt have none to rescue them.
Go ahead.
The sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand.
You go through history and find out who went through this. You didn't have those Jews go through this, those so-called Jews. You didn't have that. And even if you read in the book of Obadiah, it tells you and it prophesied of that these fake Jews was going to go in the Holocaust anyway. So this is not them. I mean, their sons and daughters have not been sold. Matter of fact, they probably was on concentration camp starving with each other. Go ahead.
The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed away.
Crushed. You're going to be only crushed and oppressed always as a people. You find me an oppressed Jew. You found me an oppressed, and I'm not going to call them the original name because people ain't going to know them. But the book of Revelations 3 and 6, 3 and 9, something like that, they say they are the synagogues of Satan. I know them. They call themselves Jews, and they are not. They are not Jews, and you cannot. They own half of Hollywood, and they own a whole lot of banks, and they got a lot of money. So it can't be them. Go ahead.
So that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes, thou shalt see. The Lord shall smite thee in thy knees and in the legs with a sore botch that cannot be healed. from the sole of thy foot unto the top of thy
I
head.
mean, I guess your feet and your ankles and your knees would hurt because why? You keep on working and working and working and working and working, just like my knees. My knees bother me all the time. My ankles bother me all the time. Why? Because I'm working. I mean, yeah, go ahead.
The Lord shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone.
You read history and find out when when these people came over to get these slaves they was looking at these big ships and they was looking at these white people coming off there, and they was getting sold by Hamites. So Africans were selling who? They were selling Israelites. If you look back and find out that that these people, the ships of Tarshish, the ship of Tarshish um is Portugal. Then you got the Spanish ships. You know, all these people was coming over there to get these slaves, and these people did not know English. They did not know the language of their captors. No, they didn't know that. And then not only that, he said they're gonna you're gonna serve the gods of wood and stone. Wherever you at, you're gonna serve the gods of wood and stone. You look back in the scriptures and find out that did the Israelites worship a tree? Did the Israelites even put up a tree to celebrate a birthday of a god or something like that? No, they did not do that. Did they go by and catch rabbits and have them lay eggs? No, they did not do that. But these people, he said, you're going to go to these nations and you're going to serve gods of wood and stone. Go ahead.
And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword
Mm-hmm.
among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee.
What did he say? He say a proverb. A proverb is nothing but a short story. A byword is something that you're not. It's a word that they're gonna call you that you are not. So therefore, I mean, I was stationed in Japan, and they called you Kokajin. Kokajin mean black foreigner. And over, I've been to Philippines. I have been to Singapore, where they have dark-skinned people that look like us. But guess what? They were ostracized. They are ostracized and they were put back. They call them different names. I went to Australia and made the mistake of calling indigenous Australian. I called them an Aborigine. Over here, they call them Aborigines, and they show them dancing around fires and everything like that. So if you go over there and call them Aborigine, it's just like calling them a nigger. So what he said, you're gonna be called a byword, nigger, coon, spear chucker, shine. You're gonna be called everything. You're gonna be called black. We are the only nation of people that is called after an adjective. An adjective describes a person, place, a thing. You're gonna call me black. You're gonna call me colored. You're gonna call everybody else. They are called Africans. Or they came from Ghana. They came from Tanzania. They came from all these hundred and some odd countries in Africa. But what do they call you? They call you an African because, okay, well, we got y'all from Africa, so I guess I'm gonna call y'all African. No, we are not African. Um, but you're gonna be called everything under the sun besides what you really are. Um, Go ahead. Actually, you know what? Skip down to verse 41 and go ahead. Skip down to verse 41.
41.
Yeah.
Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity.
You find out who happened to this, to find out who this happened to. You don't even much know your sons and your daughters. Why? Because soon as the son or daughter was born, guess what? They was taken off and they was sold. Go ahead.
All thy trees and fruit of thy land shall the locust consume.
Go ahead.
The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low.
The stranger. Who is the stranger? The stranger. If you read back in Exodus, the stranger is anybody that is not an Israelite. That's why he say you should keep the Sabbath day. You shall do no work. Thou, thy man servant, thy maid servant, nor thy stranger that is with you. What? It's another nation other than Israel. He say that they are going to get in your neighborhoods. They are going to rise up very high. They're going to prosper. Guess what? You're going to come down very low. They're going to come into your neighborhoods and sell you wigs. You don't have nobody selling you no wig. I don't know why in the world you're going to have somebody selling hair and selling wigs, and they wigs and don't even much look like them. They got some old crazy other stuff going on, but they're gonna sell you stuff for your hair products. They're gonna come in your neighborhood and they're gonna set up stores. But these people don't even much look like you. They selling gas in the black neighborhood and they don't even much look like you. You don't see no black person selling gas unless they're a cashier. Go ahead. Verse 44. He said, He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Who do you get your student loans to? Who do you get your student loans to? You got to go to the government to get your student loans, unless you're a rich man. Go ahead.
Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee.
So all this stuff is coming on you because you are not keeping the laws and statutes of God. He keep on telling you to keep my laws and statutes, even to this day. He's still telling you, keep my laws and statutes. He telling the whole world. He was trying to jumpstart Israel. So Israel can do it right. So the rest of the sons and daughters of Adam can do it right. But now they dropped the ball. So therefore, they going through this stuff. Go ahead. Verse 46.
I'm trying to, right here. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
A sign and a wonder upon thy seed forever. So these Israelites are walking around today. Why? Because he say that these signs, these curses and everything going to be for a sign to find out who you is and a wonder, because everybody wondering why in the world this have to be divine intervention to have these people downtrodden like this. Everywhere you see us, you can go to Europe, you can go to Africa, you got genocide happening in Africa. It looks like black people are killing black people. No, they know the difference. You got some people that's committing genocide right now, and they are trying to kill off the Israelites. That's what they're trying to kill off. And it look like they're trying to kill off each other, and that's not the case. That's not the case at all. But he say that these signs are going to be a sign on your seed forever. So everybody know that the slaves, when they was born, they got sold off. Who went through that? Negroes. I mean, who went through this stuff? It's going to be a sign and a wonder upon your seed forever, which forever is forever. Go ahead.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger
and welfare,
in thirst,
and free cheese and butter. Go ahead.
And in nakedness, and in want of all things.
You're going to be lacking everything. You're going to be lacking houses. You're going to be lacking vineyards. You're going to be lacking everything. Why? You don't have good credit. You go and try to get you a house, get you a car and everything. I mean, where your credit at? Not only that, you're going to be out there holding your hand out for everything. You're going to be going up there to the government, let me get some food stamps. Let me do this. Now, it's other nationalities do it too. But guess what? They're going to set up stores in your neighborhood, and they're going to fund their stores with food stamps to sell you. So, yeah, it does happen. You got Arabs, they on food stamps. What? They buy food to stack their stores to sell to you. That's what they do. It's a scam. Go ahead.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send. Oh, I did that one.
You're going to finish off when you say and.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
He said he's going to put a yoke of iron on your neck. He gonna oppress you until you be destroyed. Go ahead. We as a people, we are destroyed. Go ahead.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, and from the end of the earth, as swift as an eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
It don't matter. This nation right here that is going to come and enslave you. This nation is not. They don't care that if you're a young man, if you little boy out there, 7 years old, you're gonna be a cotton picker. You're an old man out there. You're gonna be a cotton picker. You're gonna die picking cotton. It ain't he ain't gonna regard the person of the young or the old. So because you stooping over for age and you can't stoop no more, you can't pick up no cotton. Guess what? You could die. You still are going to pick that cotton. Matter of fact, little history fact. That's where the 8 hour workday come from. You know, the slave master went out there and found out that guess what? After 8 hours, my productivity goes down. All of a sudden, my productivity start going down. Guess what? Y'all can go ahead and work 8 hours a day, 8 hours. But now they didn't work them 8 hours a day. They worked them till they fail. Go ahead.
And he shall eat of the fruit of thy cattle, and the fruit of thy land, until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of the kin, or flocks of thy sheep, until we have destroyed thee.
Skip down to verse 58 and go ahead.
58.
58.
Okay. If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in the book, that thou mayest fear the glorious and fearful name, the Lord thy God.
Go ahead.
Then the Lord shall make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of long continuance, and store sickness and of long continuance.
Go ahead.
Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou wast afraid of, and thou shalt cleave unto thee. Also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of the law of this law, them will thy Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed.
And again, I just said this earlier. Even Egypt had some diseases and stuff they used to be scared of. Israel did not want no part of it. But now he said not only these diseases is gonna get you, the ones that's not even much written in the book, they are gonna cleave onto you. And like I said, every sickness that's known to man almost is hit the black community. Go ahead.
And ye shall be left few in number, whereas ye were as the stars of heaven for multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of the Lord thy God. And it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoiced over you to do you good and to multiply you, so the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught. And ye shall be plucked from off the land, whether thou goest to possess it.
Go ahead.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Israel didn't know nothing about Easter. Israel did not know nothing about Christmas. Israel did not know. Matter of fact, Israel knew about winter solstice because they was doing it in Jeremiah 10th chapter, putting up trees and stuff. They knew that stuff, but they did not involve themselves in it. Because what did they call it? They call that straight paganism, or worshiping gods of other nations. That's what they called it. And but they did not know any of this stuff. The wood and stone and stuff like that. They ain't know none of this stuff. Go ahead.
And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind.
You're going to have a despairing heart. Your mind is going to be messed up. Why in the world this happening to our people? Why in the world every time I look around, a young black man is laying in the streets and there ain't nobody calling for no justice? All this stuff is going to be happening to you. Why? Because this is the hand of the Lord against you. You ain't going to have no ease. And like I said, when I was overseas in the military, every Israelite I saw, anybody that looked like an Israelite, they was oppressed. We're not the only people. Now we went through a whole lot. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, which is the last three tribes that were scattered amongst the Gentiles in 70 A.D. when Titus ripped Jerusalem up and scattered the rest of the tribes. Because the first 10 tribes in 2 Kings chapter 16, they was scattered in the northern kingdom. They were scattered by the Assyrians. But Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, they were still in Jerusalem. And Jerusalem got sacked in 70 AD. And ever since then, nobody has heard anybody call themselves an Israelite. They call themselves Israelis because of the land, but nobody has called no Israelite or anything like that. So, um, go ahead.
And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have none assurance of thy life.
And what other nation, no other nationality that walks around and don't have no assurance for their life? They get up and they just go on about business as usual. But all of a sudden, when you send your kids out to school, I'm just hoping don't nobody mess with them. I'm just hoping don't nobody kill them or whatever. And if you go out to work, you just hoping don't nobody just rob you, or you just hoping anything like that, because your life hangs in doubt. You don't know whether you're going to get shot down today. You don't know, because we as a people are being downtrodden. Go ahead.
In the morning thou shalt say, Would God it were even, and
Hmm.
at even thou shalt say, Would God it were morning. For the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see.
You're gonna be scared every day. You're gonna be like, oh Lord, it's nighttime. Let me go on up in here and lock all my doors, lock all my windows, because I'm scared. Oh Lord, I'll be glad when the sun come up so it can be light. I mean, you don't know. You are scared. 24/7 you scared. Go ahead.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way that whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
So there you go. He said you're gonna go to Egypt again by ships. Okay, he said, by wherewith I spake unto thee. In other words, he spoke about Jerusalem and the promised land and the land of milk and honey. He spoke about that. Y'all was in there, but guess what? He said y'all are going to go back into captivity, because that's what Egypt means. You're going to go back into captivity with ships. You don't need a ship to get from Egypt to Israel. No, you're going to be in the holds of ships, and you're going to go in captivity. And then you're going to be sold as bond men and bond women, and no man is going to buy you. They ain't gonna come and say, let these people go. Stop. Give these people what y'all owe them. Give them their 40 acres of mule. Give them their reparations. You ain't gonna have nobody like that. You speak of reparations if you want to, and see, they're gonna laugh in your face. Um, we're gonna go further, because let's see whether these curses have came upon Israel. Go to Deuteronomy chapter. I'm sorry, not Deuteronomy. The book of Daniel. Book of Daniel.
Okay.
Book of Daniel, chapter 9. Daniel chapter 9. And because Daniel was praying for some understanding, and he was confessing the sins of his people, the Israelites. Okay, now Daniel chapter 9, and we're going to pick this up at verse 8. 9 verse 8. Because Daniel was praying, and again he was in the Babylonian captivity, and he was praying for some understanding, but he started confessing some sins. Go ahead, pick it up at verse 8 and go ahead.
Oh, I went to 8 in verse 9. O Lord, to us belongeth confusion
Mm-hmm.
of face, to our kings, to our princes, and to our fathers, because we have sinned against thee.
Oh, okay. Daniel was an Israelite. Daniel came out of the tribe of Judah. So he said that we have sinned against thee. This is way after the book of Moses. Um, Go ahead and skip down to verse 11 and pick it up.
Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured onto us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, because we have sinned against him.
We just read in uh, written in the law of Moses, the servant of God. We just read that how you're going to get carried away in ships, and how you're going to be a proverb and a byword, and how these things is going to these curses is going to be upon you forever if Israel you do not keep my laws and statutes. Go ahead.
And he hath confirmed his words which he spake against us, and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven hath not been done as hath been done by upon Jerusalem.
And that's what it is. He said, now this thing has come upon us now. Now we sin against God, and all this stuff has come on us. Now read verse 13.
As it is written in the law of Moses, all this evil is come upon us, yet made we not our prayer before the Lord our God, that we might turn from our iniquities and understand thy truth.
And even to this day, you go out there and say, like, Lord, I want you to keep his commandment. Lord, I want you to keep his commandment. Pray. Lord, I want you to keep him. These people are still kicking. Go ahead.
Therefore hath the Lord watched upon the evil, and brought it upon us. For the Lord our God is righteous in all his works which he doeth, for we obeyed not his voice.
So he said we obeyed not his voice. Therefore, all the curses that we just read are upon the children of Israel, even as it is this day. And we're gonna point out a couple more things. Go to Isaiah 42. Isaiah 42. Because he said these curses are going to be upon you forever, as a sign and a wonder, as a sign to show you who you are. Because the Lord has not done away with his people. Just like you still have Spanish people walking around, you have Portuguese people walking around, the people of Tarshish. You have Gentiles, Europeans, they all of them walking around. You have Africans, you have Ethiopians, you have all these people walking around here because they came out of Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Therefore, you still have Israelites walking around on this earth. But we have turned our backs and we have broke the laws of God. Therefore, don't nobody know who we are. Israelites are just in other scriptures. He said we're gonna make their name vanish. Don't nobody know. Don't nobody call themselves Israelite no more. Verse 40. I'm sorry, Isaiah 42, and we're gonna pick this up at verse 18. 18, because you're gonna see this. You don't see too much of it in the winter, but wait around the spring, and once the days start getting long, and once the sun start beaming down at night. I mean, I'm sorry, not at night, but start beaming down in the daytime. You're gonna see this happen. Pick it up at verse 18.
Hear ye deaf, and look ye blind, that ye may see. Who is blind but my servant, or deaf as my messenger that I sent? Who is blind as he that is perfect, and blind as the Lord's servant?
And Lord, so he is talking about the nation of Israel here. Go ahead.
Seeing many things, but thou observest not, opening the ears, but he heareth not.
So you see a whole lot of stuff going on with our people. You see a whole lot of stuff going on, but then again, it's like they falling on deaf ears, and you're not hearing it. You ain't even must consider it. Go ahead.
The Lord is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. He will magnify the law and make it honorable. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none restore.
So if you want to see if you want to find out what the Israelites say, go into prison. Who in the world? Who make up the biggest prison population? Besides the Hispanics, but the Hispanics even fall up under us. Check the statistics over the whole world. This is not just only talking about the United States. This is the whole world. Go in there, and if you want to find them Israelites, guess what? They're gonna be snared in holes. They're gonna be hidden in prison houses. And then, in the people of that country, they are not. They're gonna look down on these people. Even the people in the Philippines, they see that all the Israelites over there, because you do have Israelites, you have Israelites that made babies over there and left them. And guess what? They put them aside and they shunned them from society because they are Israelites. They are hidden away in their prisons. They are Israelites. Go ahead.
Who among you will give ear to this? Who will hearken and hear for the time to come?
Who gonna give ear to this? Who will hearken? Who gonna listen? But guess what? Somebody gave this, somebody put this on Israel. And we've been to find out. Read verse 24.
Who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers? Did not the
The
Lord?
Lord did this. The Lord did it. We was being disobedient, and the Lord poured all this stuff on us. It was the Lord that took your sons and daughters and put them into captivity, and you didn't enjoy them. It was the Lord that put you on the hulls of ships and put you back into Egypt or captivity the second time, and you're gonna be sold as bondmen and bondwomen. Who did this? The Lord did this. So fight, if you sitting there fighting the power, if you sitting there, saying fight the power and trying to fight for your rights and all this other stuff, you got to remember, you know, and just like my teacher used to always say, he say, look, if a man is beating you in the head with the bat, why are you going to get mad at the bat? You need to settle a score with the man with the bat, and the man with the bat is the Lord. And what he's beating Israel with is the Gentiles or the Europeans. He is beating you upside the head. He is beating you upside the head with not only the Gentile nations, he are beating you upside the head with all the other nations that are making you a prey. So you cannot get mad at the bat. You got to settle a score with the Lord who willing to bat on you. Go ahead.
For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law.
They were not obedient to his law. Go ahead.
Therefore he hath poured upon him the fury of his anger, and the strength of battle, and it hath set him on fire round about. Yet he knew not, and it burned him, yet he laid it not to heart.
So the Lord is putting all these curses on you and putting all these curses on you. You ain't know what's laying in the heart. It's just like somebody just picking with you, picking with you, and picking with you, and you done beat them, and you done beat them, and they still picking with you, and you done beat them. Like, do you not know that this man could kill you? But now you don't even must lay at the heart. You don't do nothing, but you still messing with him. You still breaking his law. You still doing what you want to do. You still serving other gods and everything. So therefore, the curse has to divide you and add us as a people. Um, Go ahead. And like I say, and I used to work the jails. Matter of fact, I worked 3 jails, and the only thing, well, I'll say the majority of people that we had to struggle with, and the majority of people that fill the jails are our people, Israelites. They fill the jail. We can't. We I mean, we have police officers out there in the Sallyport area backed up. They can't even much do their job because they keep on putting Israel in jail. We don't have no place to put them. So they feeling they're busting out the seams in the jail, and this happens every summer. And but it really picks up in the summer. But but in the winter, they need a place to go to get warm and stuff like that. So what? They can commit crimes and go to jail. The 3 hots in the cot, and they out of the cold. But anyway, they are still in the jails. Go to Isaiah 51. Isaiah 51. Isaiah 51, and we're going to pick it up at 17. Isaiah 51 and 17. Go ahead.
Awake, awake, stand up, O Jerusalem, which hast drunk at the hand of the Lord the cup of his fury. Thou hast drunken the dregs of the cups of trembling and wrung them out.
So we have um, drunk at the hand of the Lord the cup of his fury. We are in the fury of the Lord. The Lord is beating and whooping our heads. Why? Because he chose us to be a royal priesthood. He chose us because of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He chose Israel to take his word out to the rest of the sons and daughters of Adam. And they disobeyed his law and they disobeyed his word. Guess what? All the rest of the sons and daughters of Abraham, all the rest of the sons and daughters of Adam cannot receive the truth. Why? Because it is the teachers that are in captivity. So if the teachers only had, because in the wilderness you only had the nation of Israel there. There were no other nations there but Israel. You had a mixed multitude, but the Lord only spoke to Israel. That's the only place. That's why he say, "Go not to the Samaritans or anywhere like." He said, "Go to the lost tribes of the house of Israel." Go ahead, verse 18.
There is none to guide her among all the sons whom she hath brought forth, neither is there any that taketh her by the hand of all the sons that she hath brought up.
Go ahead.
These two things are come unto thee, who shall be sorry for thee, desolation and destruction, and the famine and the sword, by the whom shall I comfort thee?
Okay, who the Lord going to use to comfort? Who is he going to use to comfort this nation? Go ahead.
Thy sons have fainted, they lie at the head of all the streets, as a wild bull in a net. They are full of the fury of the Lord, the rebuke of thy God.
So we said what? He said your sons have fainted. They lie at the head at every street corner. You go to every street corner in the neighborhood. Who do you see? If you see another nationality, they're there to buy drugs. But who do you see at the head of all the streets? Look at it every summer. You just ride down the neighborhood. You're gonna see them on ahead of every street. Israel. And they say they are full of the field, just like a wild bull in a net. Have you ever seen a wild bull in a net? Or can you even imagine a wild bull in a net, him kicking and bucking and everything like that? But they doing and they kicking and bucking and they kicking and bucking what? They kicking and bucking against the law and statutes of God. They don't want to hear about God. They don't want to hear about the word. They don't want to hear about nothing. But they just want to stay up all night on them street corners. Go to Isaiah chapter 1. Isaiah chapter 1, because you wonder, you tell people about the word and you show them the word and this and that, and they agree with you. They agree with you. But they still go right back and do that stuff that they still do. They can't get enough of it. Go to Isaiah chapter 1 and read, start at verse 1.
The vision of Isaiah the son of Amoz, which he saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem in the day of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah.
Go ahead.
Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for the Lord hath spoken.
So everybody listen to this. Go ahead.
I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider.
My people don't even must know. My people don't even must know where their country at. Everybody else know where their country at. But my people, Israel, do not know that Israel is their country. Everybody else know. Everybody else know where their country at. The Mexicans, they know where Mexico at. The Italians, they know where Italy at. The Germans, they know where Germany at. But the Lord's own people, they don't even much consider. They don't even much know where they at. If America, if anybody leading this country was to say, everybody get up and go to your own land. Go to your own land. And Italians, they're going to go back to Italy. Germany, they're going to go back to Germany. Mexico, they're just going to hop the border. Canadians, they're going to hop the borders up north. All the Africans, they're going to go back to their respective countries because Africa is a continent. They're going to go back to their respective countries and everything. But then again, where is the African American going to go? Where the Negro going to go? Where the spear chucker going to go? Is he going to go back to Africa where he got taken from? No, they got a whole lot of tribal wars over there. What tribe are you from in Africa? If you are an African. But no, you're not an African. You're not even much American because America ain't nothing but a wilderness, just mixed with people. Everybody else migrated to make their lives better. But then again, the slaves were brought here to build and make a better life for other people. So we're gonna go further. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 30. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 30. Deuteronomy chapter 30. I know this probably be the longest lesson I've done, but I've cut out a whole lot of scriptures. I've cut out because I mean it's just amazing. And this whole Bible is about the destruction and the restoration of these dry bones, which is Israel, the nation of Israel. And the whole book from Genesis to Revelation talks about Israel. That's why I don't understand that these people up in Sunday church, how can you get away from the nation of Israel? And the whole book is about the nation of Israel. Jesus came from the nation of Israel through the tribe of Judah. So you're going to try to get away from that. It's impossible. And we're going to find out. Once we find out and go back to the draft, go back to Ezekiel 37. We're going to find out when that these bones are going to live. Deuteronomy 30 and starting at verse 1. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whether the Lord thy God hath driven thee, and shalt return unto the Lord thy God, and shalt obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children with all thine heart and with all thy soul, that then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations, whither the Lord thy God hath scattered thee.
So he said, look, after he said once the blessings and the curses come across, and well, obviously we just read that that Israel was disobedient. So therefore, he said, if you find yourself scattered in these countries in your captivity, and then they come to mind, well, man, all this stuff is coming on me, and all these things and vexations and everything coming up on me. Maybe I just need to go back and find out why. And once I find out why, then I will go and I will keep the laws and statutes of God. And maybe he can make this thing a little lighter for me. Maybe he'll give me a job in a house or stuff like that, so I can enjoy my wife and kids. Maybe he can do that for me if I turn my life around and start walking according to his laws and statutes. Go ahead.
And if any of thine be driven out unto the outmost parts of heaven, from thence will the Lord thy God gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee. And the Lord thy God will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it. And he will do thee good, and multiply thee above thy fathers.
So he said, now look, he's like, if you turn to me and do and keep all my laws and statutes or whatever, then I will turn your captivity, and then I will return and gather you and put you in your land where you're supposed to be. Now you must know that Israel is your land, Negro. You do not know that. So let's go back to the Valley of Dry Bones. Now we know and we have proven that the Israelites are the so-called Negroes, the descendants from the slaves. We know that. And even if you are confused as to where you are or who you are, them curses gonna tell you, because they're gonna be a sign and a wonder to let you know who you are. So I tell you what, if you're Israelite, go out there and get you one of those good old houses out there in the white neighborhood and see how many protests gonna go on. Go out there and move into the white neighborhood and see how many for sale signs go up. Go out there in the white neighborhood and try to be like them and see what happens. All of a sudden, you're going to start wondering, man, why everybody running from me? Matter of fact, you even go into a nice middle class neighborhood of black people and you go out there and carry them curses with you and see what happens. Even you are running from your own self. You can't even stand to be around each other. So I mean, the whole head is sick. The Lord say, um, Ezekiel 37, and we're gonna pick this up at verse 12. So now he say that these dry bones are the whole house of Israel. Now we know who Israel is. Now we got to find out what's going to be what's going to be the payback, or what's going to be in the future, because these bones, you can sit there and you can preach to them, you can tell them the word, they're going to rattle a little bit, they're going to get happy and all this other stuff, and guess what? As soon as the happiness die down, they're going to go right back and start doing the same thing they doing, because they got idols in their mind. I mean, you was born and raised doing Christmas. You was born and raised doing Easter. This stuff is not easy to get away from, unless your faith has to be very strong, and you have to stop dealing with this stuff. Um, Pick up verse 12. Go ahead.
Therefore prophesy and say unto them, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, O my people, I will open your graves, and cause you to come up out of your graves, and bring you into the land of Israel.
So why do the Lord have to bring you out of your grave? Because when you go back into the land of Israel, this is going to be after the resurrection. After the resurrection, when you got to come out of your grave, that's when the true Israelites are going to be back in the land of Israel. Go ahead.
And ye shall know that I am the Lord, and when I have opened your graves, O my people, and brought you up out of your graves, and shall put my spirit in you, and ye shall live, and I shall place you in your own land, then shall ye know that I am the Lord, the Lord, have spoken it, and performed it, saith the Lord.
Why? Because when you come out your graves and you go over there into the land of Israel, you're going to be like, man, I ain't never had no country. I ain't never had no country. Everybody else had a country. I ain't never had no country like this and this and that. But he say, you're going to know that I'm the Lord when I open your graves up and raise you up and put you in the land of Israel where you belong. Keep on, because this is another parable the Lord put forth, and I'm gonna show you as far as when these bones gonna come to life. Um, Pick it up at verse 15. Go ahead.
The word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick, and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions. Then take another stick, and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companions. And join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in thine hand.
Go ahead.
And then the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, Wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these?
Go ahead. So he got two sticks, one for Judah, one for Israel. He said, combine them together. Why? Because under Solomon's kingdom, under Solomon, the kingdom was split. The kingdom was split. You had the northern kingdom, which is Israel, 10 tribes. Then you had the southern kingdom, which is Judah. And you had Benjamin, Levi, and Benjamin, Levi, and Judah left down up in Jerusalem. So you had a split kingdom. Okay. Then he say, what did he say? He said, and when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, Will thou not show us what thou meanest by these? Say unto them, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his fellows, and will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in mine hand. He said, and the sticks whereon thou writest shall be in thine hand before thine eyes. So now he got two sticks. Okay, he gonna join them as one. They said, look, I mean, what mean this? Okay, now he joined them into one. Okay, and go ahead and pick up.
And say unto them, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whether they be gone, and will gather them on every side, and bring them into their own land.
So see, the Lord has scattered him because the Lord scattered Israel among all the nations. So nobody's calling themselves Israelites no more. And then they are outside the land, and somebody else has their land and called themselves Jews. So no, he said he gonna bring them together. Go ahead.
And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king of them all. And they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms any more at all.
Go ahead.
Neither shall they defile themselves any more with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions, but I will save them out of all their dwelling places wherein they have sinned, and will cleanse them. So shall they be my people, and I will be their God.
Okay, the Lord is going to do this because, like I said, it was two nations, it was two kingdoms. You had the Israel and the northern kingdom. Then you have the southern kingdom, which is Judah, which is like I said, Benjamin, Levi, and Judah. So he's going to combine them. He's going to bring them to their own land, right? But when is this going to happen? Who's going to be their king? Read verse 24.
And David my servant shall be king over them, and they all shall have one shepherd. They shall also walk in my judgments, and observe my statutes, and do them.
Wait a minute. We could read in the book of Acts where he said the patriarch David is dead, and his sepulcher is here with us unto this day. Not only that, it was not in David's time that the kingdom was split. It was in Solomon's time that the kingdom was split because you had Rehoboam and you had Jeroboam with the 10 tribes. So in David's day, it was not the kingdom was not split. It was one kingdom. So why the Lord going to bring back the captivity and gather all the Israelites and make them as one? And what he said, he going to make David their king. So now we know David is both dead and buried. Guess what? David has to get resurrected in the resurrection and be king over Israel. So if you don't see David over there reigning in Israel right now, the resurrection did not happen, and those people who call themselves Jews over there are fake. Go ahead.
And they shall dwell in the land that I have given unto Jacob my servant, wherein your fathers have dwelt, and they shall dwell therein, even they and their children's children forever. And my servant David shall be their prince forever.
My servant David shall be their prince forever. So for him to be prince forever, guess what? He's going to have to live forever. He could not live forever in this flesh. He had to die. Therefore, in the resurrection, he could be prince forever. Go ahead.
Moreover, I will make a covenant of peace with them. It shall be an everlasting covenant with them, and I will place them and multiply them, and will set my sanctuary in the midst of them forevermore. My tabernacle shall be with them. Yea, I will be their God, and they shall be my people. And the heathen shall know that I, the Lord, do sanctify Israel. When my sanctuary shall be in the midst of them forevermore.
Forevermore. So the Lord's sanctuary is going to be with man. David is going to be the prince of Israel. Israel is not no more. It's going to be two nations. Israel is going to be one. But guess what? This is the dry bones in the valley that all of a sudden he said what did he say? He said going to be a great company. When they resurrect, they're going to be a great company because when they resurrect, you got a whole lot of children of Israel that has died since Adam. I mean, that has died since since Israel became a nation. A whole lot of people, even the people that was before, which is died of Adam. You still have righteous people. You still have a righteous branch. But look, Noah came out of the righteous branch in his family. So therefore, the children of Israel, we are in captivity, and we will not be back until the resurrection, where David is going to be our prince forever. Therefore, the dry bones in the valley are the children of Israel, and the nation is going to be restored to the children of Israel when the Lord gets back. And for that, I thank you for your time.